Welcome Cancer to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 6th of May for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. On the screen now is the event chart right at the start of the week. We need to be mindful of your ruler, as always, the Moon, and it's in House 10, the sign of Aries. Now, the Moon in Aries can be a little bit of a feisty influence, but it's very visible. So whatever you feel this week, you're likely to be more demonstrative. So if you're in a good frame of mind, you'll show it. If you're feeling a bit grumpier, you're likely to show it. But seriously, it's also very close to the North Node. And whatever you're instinctively being pulled towards at this time, in terms of your worldly interaction, do go with it. Just trust the process. But also, this is a week, of course, when we have the Taurus new moon, which for you is very much about your connections, your network, your long-term plan, can be your higher ideals, and you have the delightful presence of Venus in her home sign here. So there can be a real opportunity to connect and socialize over the next 4 weeks based on this particular year's new moon. But also because Jupiter and Uranus are in your 11th house as well, things can be quite fluid. There could be people coming into your situation, but people also moving away, or maybe you're the one creating the space. But House 9, which can be to do with being adventurous, but also more independent, that's very influential because Neptune links to Jupiter, the two rulers of Pisces. So Neptune in House 9 can arouse your fascination with travel, culture, spirituality, healing, but Saturn there is linking to the Sun. If you can learn something, House 9, which can influence your future in a productive way, the Sun, that new moon could be very, very good for you. So it could be downloading a course, it could be actually going away with a business trip that actually has some kind of real tangible outcome in a very positive way. But you also have Mars, you can see in House 10. Mars, of course, rules Aries, and having Mars here is going to give you a lot more extra assertiveness at this time, and also self-confidence. But it's linking at the start of this week still to Pluto. They came into an exact alliance last Thursday, which really could have been good for you if you are interested in business, or you're an entrepreneur, or you work in a role where you have to be quite creative. Mars gives you thrust, and you're a sign that can be wary of confrontation. But what Mars does here is just gives you that much more self-belief. So if you're applying for a job, doing a presentation, meeting somebody who is a decision maker, I feel that you can be very self-assured, and your friendliness, which can come through the sign of Taurus, can also be just as important as your skill set. Now, as the week goes on, Venus is linking up with Saturn. Saturn's an interesting planet. It gets such a bad celestial press, doesn't it? Saturn in the 9th house, it may be over the last year that something to do with a legal matter could have been testing you, or a contractual matter, or if you felt quite penned in. If you live in an environment where you don't get much space and freedom, you may have become much more conscious of it. But if you could get together with a friend or a partner and do something more spontaneous over the next 4 weeks, but that connects you to others, I actually thought it would be really, really good. And what Saturn does in a way is ask you to take what you've got to offer seriously and stand in your power. And Mars will certainly give you a lot of extra thrust this week. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Cancer. I hope you have a great week. But if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be grateful if you did so now.